problems facing us. Grant us the mercy, O Lord, that we shall today also honor thy name in all we think, do, and say. Almighty God, we pray thee, bless our land and all its people. This all we pray in the name of Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. Affirmation. I solemnly affirm that I will be faithful to the Republic of Namibia and its people, and I solemnly promise to uphold and defend the Constitution and laws of the Republic of Namibia to the best of my ability. Announcements. Honorable members, I would like to inform the honorable members of the House that as previously announced by the Deputy Speaker, His Excellency Narendra Modi, Prime Minister of the Republic of India, will address Parliament tomorrow at 16 hours in terms of Rule 224 of the Standing Rules, Orders and Internal Arrangements as a visiting dignitary of the Assembly. Tomorrow, the business of the Assembly will proceed as usual from 14:30, and by 16 hours, I will suspend the business of the House to go and invite the Prime Minister to our chamber to come and address Parliament. Okay, that's the announcement for today. Any message from the head of state? Any petitions? Reports of standing or select committees? Other reports and papers? Notices of questions? Honorable Kandorodu.
Thank you, Speaker. I hereby give notice that on the 12th September 2024, I shall ask Minister of Health and Social Services, Honorable Esperanza Lubidao, the following questions. Honorable Minister, it has come to my attention that at your ministry, there is victimization going on, more especially at tertiary healthcare and clinical support service. This victimization occasionally happens when it comes to purchasing of medical equipment. It always started when subordinates refused to process illegal procurement process as per instructions of the supervisor. Some of your staff members have taken up with Ombudsman office due to lack of support from the ED office because all top management are in cahoots and benefit from this maladministration. This whole issue started 4 years back when one of your staff members refused to pay a certain company, SS Kunene, who did not follow procedures of procurement. The company delivered medical equipment to the tune of some millions without being issued with purchase order as per State Finance Act or Treasury instructions. He or she, I put it like that, to protect the person from being victimized. He or she refused to pay this company as one of the seniors was putting pressure on the staff and warned him or she and another colleague who have to run away and now working elsewhere, who can verify this allegation. After some time, the very same senior official asked the colleague when he or she is going to print a purchase order for Ubuntu without following proper procedures and for goods not received. Another instruction was issued to pay Unimed that did not finish with the installations and training on the equipment they installed. Up to date, there's no documentations whereby the trainee signed that they received training and that the job was completed successfully. There is some more story to tell about what is happening at the Ministry of Health and Social Services. I hereby ask the following questions to the Honorable Minister. Are you aware that millions and millions have been paid at your ministry without following correct procedures, procurement procedures? If yes, what action will you take to stop these practices? Will you please appoint internal auditor to verify if the procurement process went accordingly through advertisement or request for quotations, appointment of BEC, bid evaluation committee, and PMU, and authorized by the accounting officers and report to the Namibian nation or to this house? Are you aware that there are staff members at your ministry, especially tertiary healthcare and clinical support service, that are on sabbatical leave of depression due to victimization at work? If yes, how will you help the situation and help the poor victim? Are you aware that the emergency procurement process is the order of the day at your ministry, whereby an order is issued from the directorate to the ED without coming to PMU? Your ministry is one of the ministry whereby the same person who set the specification is sitting in the BC and PMU. There are no external people from other line ministry of government agencies invited to come and adjudicate the procurement process. When are you going to reshuffle your staff members from directors up to control administration level? I so submit.
Can the honourable member please table the questions? Now I recognize Honourable Hishono.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker, for the floor. I hereby give notice that on Thursday, 4th of September, I shall ask the Minister of Education, Innovation, Youth, Sport, Art and Culture, Honourable Sandy Steenkamp, the following questions. Honourable Speaker, on the 19th to the 20th of June 2025, a political party housed the Pioneers Movement at the Haimbili Haufiko Secondary School hostel, where the learners were attending holiday classes. I understand that the pioneers were singing and chanting slogans, which prompted the boarders to join the pioneers. This event was attended by many politicians, including some members of this August House, and even the old Prime Minister was there. Now, Honourable Speaker, the question comes. Is the Honourable Minister aware of the said political activity at Haimbili Haufiko Secondary School hostel? And Honourable Speaker, we looked at the Education Act 3 of 2020, specifically Section 22.1 and 22.2, which clearly addressed the prohibition of political activities in schools, and the Article 15 of the Namibia Constitution, which placed children under the protection of their parents. Hence the following questions. My time is ticking. My time is getting stolen.
I'm the minister.
Okay.
Honourable members.
Honourable Speaker, my name is Albert Hishono, and I'm posing a question to Minister Steve.
Yes.
Thank you.
Please
So,
proceed, honourable member.
given did the minister authorize this, or who authorized this, and what measures have been taken against those who violated that act? And did the political party obtain a written authority from the parents of these children? And let me refresh your mind, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, on the 19th of June 2019, the then Education Executive Director in the Namibian Economist newspaper ran an article indicating that schools should not be utilized for political activities. And I quote, "Schools are sensitive and secure areas with the ministry having to fulfill a critical role of responsibility for all the learners. Leadership and management at the regional and school levels are hereby urged to safeguard against political activities on school premises." And I quote, Honorable Minister, when and how do we get here?
You also
are you now tolerating this, Honorable Minister?
Observe the rules of the House. All of them.
No, Speaker. No, call your SG to order. She shouted.
You may please proceed.
May I finish, please?
Yes, please.
The circumstance does not allow me to continue like this.
Speakers!
Okay, I continue, Honorable Speaker, as I finish. Are you now tolerating this, Honorable Minister? Is this not conflict of interest and double standard? I so submit.
The honorable member, please table the questions.
Said it now. Speaker, you must withdraw that statement. Withdraw that statement. What you will do?
Yes. Honorable members, can we please have order in the House? I now recognize Honorable Lucato. That's a notice of question. You have the floor, please.
You must withdraw. Speaker. You must withdraw.
Honorable Lucato has the floor, honorable member.
You must withdraw, she's insulting.
You already do that. I didn't hear the insult. If I hear the insult, I will ask the member to withdraw the insult.
Chief Whip, put pressure. She must withdraw.
No, you don't have the floor.
She must withdraw.
I just wanted to say that the member must withdraw.
She must withdraw.
Because if I say it back to her, it will not be nice. If I say it back to her, it will not be nice.
Say what?
I was brought up by my parents. I cannot say to her, but she must withdraw.
Discipline, man.
You are sitting in a place where your people sit.
Okay, and hear me out.
No.
Sit down.
Let's see.
Yeah. That's unruliness. Honorable members, when the speaker has to make a ruling, honorable member, can you please take Honorable Rukato? When the presiding officer makes a ruling, the presiding officer would be heard in silence. You cannot demand that the presiding officer must rule in regard to a matter that is of concern to you, but you refuse to recognize the presiding officer when the presiding officer asks you to take your seat. Because that's equivalent to saying the presiding officer, in silence, the presiding officer will not. Yeah, that's equivalent. The presiding officer would interpret the rules and make rulings. She will not be ordered by a member to rule a certain way, failing which the member will be accused. You are out of order also. You are out of order as well. So you are out of order. So you cannot, in an out of order manner, order me to rule a certain way. You are out of order. Yeah, Honorable Rukato, take the floor. What is the insult, honorable member? Can you help me to know what the insult was said and by who? Can you just tell me what? No, you tell me. You are the one that is on the floor. Can you tell me what the insult was and who said that insult?
You can also answer.
No, ask me because you are concerned.
As a speaker, the member was very loud.
No, honorable member. If you ask for the floor to call for a point of order or for a member to withdraw an expression that is inappropriate, you must say who that member is and what the expression was that was made that was inappropriate. What is the insulting word? How can I ask somebody to withdraw something I don't know? Oh, honorable member, talk to me. Don't argue with Honorable Shaningwa. You have the floor. Honorable Shaningwa, let me hear what Honorable Nashinge is saying. I want to hear what is the insult that, it's Honorable Nashinge. I gave you stood up to ask for a point of order. I want to hear you out. What is the point of order that you are making?
To us.
Not to us. I want the Honorable Member Nashinge.
On this side, we had FU.
FU. By you. Oh, okay, can you take your seat? Can you take your seat? Can you take your seat? Okay, now can you tell, or rather, can you tell me who is the member that said that? Member, who is the member that said that? Okay, now take your seat. Yeah, okay, take your seat. Take your seat, honorable member. Oh? Do you want me to rule with you standing? No, I have heard you. Can you take your seat? Let me deal with the matter. Honorable member, can you take your seat? What are you expecting from me? Are you expecting me to rule while you are talking? I want you to take your seat. I have asked you the question, what was the insult? You said it after reluctance, and who said it? I have heard that. Now take your seat and let me deal with the matter. So, Honorable Shaningwa, you are accused of having said FU. Did you say that?
think I have this thing or I don't have it. You know me. But I never pronounce a word FU. I never pronounce a word FU. I never. That is stuck in your head. I never. Because that is the type of your behavior, that's why you have those type of things.
Okay.
And when you are living in a stone house, you must forget throwing stones.
Okay, honorable member. Okay,
I never use that word.
Yeah, honorable members, I did not hear the honorable member say the FU word. Now that word is unparliamentary. You cannot complain that I should call people to order, but you are always talking when I'm making a ruling. Including you. You are one of them. Yes. Yes. So what I'm saying is FU is an unparliamentary word. But I did not hear the honorable member say it. So I cannot insist that she said it. So we will check with the Hansard then. Then we proceed. We will check with the Hansard. We will check with the Hansard. Honorable Lucato now has the floor. What else do you want me to do? I didn't hear her. So then God should deal with it. Honorable Lucato, you may please take the floor.
Honorable Speaker, members of the Parliament, and the leaders of all political parties, good day, and thank you for the platform. Honorable Speaker, I give notice that on Thursday, 25 September 2025, I shall ask the Honorable Minister for Justice the following two questions. Number one, what steps has the Ministry of Justice taken towards establishing a True and a Reconciliation Commission in Namibia to investigate cases of missing and the murdered Namibians from the liberation era and the early post-independence period, and what justify in initiating such a process at this time in light of long-standing calls by families and civil society. Second question, what legislative or policy measures has your ministry undertaken to review or reform the appointment process of ECN, the Ombudsman, and the Auditor General to strengthen their independence and alignment with the international democratic standards? Honorable Speaker, I give notice that on Thursday, 25 September 2025, I shall ask the Honorable Minister again of Justice the following questions. Let me say a point of correction. Let me go to the Minister of Urban. Yes. Yeah. Honorable Speaker, members of Parliament, I give notice that on Thursday, 25 September 2025, I shall ask the former Honorable Minister of Urban and Rural Affairs, the Line Ministry, the only one question. Has your office initiated and considered constitutional amendments to provide for a transparent, particular, and the independent appointment mechanism for the heads of the ECN. In this regard, I so submit, Honorable Speaker.
The Honorable Member, you may now table the question. Very good. Those the questions are not. I now recognize Honorable Ampanda.
Speaker, I have an urgent oral question.
Okay, now I have other members on the list. We have to finish the notified questions.
Okay.
And then you press your button again so that you will come at the end of the list.
Okay.
Yeah, Honorable Hengari.
Printed or whatever. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I hereby give notice that on Thursday, the 4th of September, 2025, I shall ask the Minister of Urban and Rural Development, the Honorable James Sankwasa, the following. The escalating rental costs in Namibia exacerbate the cost of living crisis and disproportionately burden vulnerable citizens. In urban centers like Windhoek, average rental prices have surged to 7,348 in 2024 for a two-bedroom unit, driven by a housing shortage estimated at around 300,000 units. The scarcity, Honorable Speaker, enables landlords to charge exorbitant rents, often requiring deposits equivalent to 1 month's rent, which are not placed in interest-bearing accounts, depriving tenants of financial growth. The Rent Ordinance 13 of 1977 provides for rent boards to regulate rents and address tenant complaints, yet these boards have been largely non-functional since 1990-1991, leaving tenants unprotected in an unregulated market. The absence of effective oversight contrasts sharply with the ordinance's intent to balance tenant protections with landlord interests, a mechanism that could cap unreasonable rent hikes and ensure fair deposit handling if revived. I therefore ask the following. 1, why are tenant deposits, often equivalent to a month's rent, not mandated to be held in interest-bearing accounts to benefit renters as required under Section 25, subsection 2 of the Rent Ordinance 13 of 1997? And what steps is your ministry taking to enforce compliance and ensure landlords return deposits fairly, given widespread reports of tenants struggling to recover these funds? 2, with Namibia's housing backlog estimated at 300,000 units, requiring 76 billion to address, what specific policies and investments is your ministry pursuing to accelerate affordable housing development, thereby alleviating the supply constraints that empower landlords to exploit vulnerable Namibians with excessive rental charges? 3, when will this cabinet act to revive rent boards under the Rent Ordinance 13 of 1977 to protect tenants from exploitative rent increases, while of course maintaining landlords' business interests? And what concrete reforms are planned to ensure their effective establishment and operation across regions such as Khomas and Orongo? 4, given the 2024 average rental price, Honorable Speaker, I must say that in 2024, a two-bedroom unit went for 7,000, that's the average price, 7,348. But this year, here in Windhoek, a two-bedroom unit is between 12,000 and 15,000. And inflation rates reaching 55.1%. What measures is your ministry implementing to mitigate the affordability crisis that forces tenants to allocate disproportionate portions of their income to rent, particularly in urban areas where two-bedroom unit prices have surged by 14.7%? 5, What plans does your ministry have to modernize the outdated Rent Ordinance 13 of 1977, including its inadequate fines, e.g. the $200, and lack of enforcement mechanisms to create a robust regulatory framework that curbs rent exploitation without stifling the property market, and what timeline is envisioned for such reforms? I so submit, Honourable Speaker.
Yes, thank you, Honourable Member. Can the Honourable MPs please allow me to pass a message to the members posing questions that they may table before they clap? Because some members don't know they have to table and they won't hear me when you are clapping immediately.
Are they all wrong?
Yeah, no, I have seen one sit down. They ask a question and just sit down because I kept saying table and you guys were applauding. Okay, now I proceed to the next member. Honorable Mvula, you have the floor, please.
Thank
Honorable
you.
members.
Honorable Speaker. I have two supposed to be oral urgent questions.
Okay, Honorable Mvula,
yes.
can you first get the questions that are written, and then we will have oral questions at the end, because Honorable Ampanda also had an oral question.
Okay, must I keep my light on then?
Yes. You
right.
Press again, and then you get to the end of the list. Yeah. Honorable Mwashindange.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I hereby give notice that on Thursday, the 10th of July 2025, I shall ask the Minister of Finance, the Honorable Erika Shafuda, the following. Namibia went 12 years without a national census. Having last conducted one in 2011, the 2021 census was postponed due to financial constraints and apparently the COVID-19 pandemic. Only in 2023 was the census finally conducted. This delayed census has potentially hurt the country's revenue streams from the Southern African Customs Union, SACU, of which revenue Namibia depends heavily, as the SACU received account for up to 1/3 of our revenue to our national budget. The revenue formula depends on the accurate data, of which formula includes customs component, which is based on the share of intra-SACU imports, and the other one is excise component, which is distributed according to each country's share of SACU GDP, and then the last one, development component, which is the 15% of excise, weighed inversely by per capita GDP. Honorable Minister, Honorable Member, both GDP and GDP per capita for SACU rely heavily on the up-to-date population figures from a reliable census. Without recent population data, estimates misrepresent economic size and per capita wealth. This distorts excise and development shares. Having seen that our population almost doubled during the delayed census period, and since 15% excise-based SACU transfers are distributed intensively to per capita GDP, this means Namibia received less than its fair share, shifting more money to better measured countries like South Africa and Botswana. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, the billions that we lost could have been used to buy medicines for our people or create jobs for our unemployed citizens, especially our young people, and even increase the old age grant for our elders who were promised an increase during campaigns. It's against this background that I now ask
One, can the Honorable Minister tell this august House and the people of Namibia how much money did we lose as a result of this gross mismanagement in failing to conduct the census? Two, if the budgetary constraints led to the postponement of census, what alternative data sources, example large-scale samplings, were considered to inform SACU allocation formula? Number three, and the second last, what are the other outdated data that is hampering our SACU receipts, and how soon after can we expect any recovery or improvement in SACU revenues? And the last one, does this only apply to SACU, or even, when I say does, it means the mismanagement, or even the downgrading of Namibia to a lower middle income country? I so submit.
Thank you. The honourable member please take the question. Very good. I now recognize Honorable Nashinge.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I have two questions, and the first one is as follows. Honorable Speaker, I hereby give notice that on Thursday, the 10th of July 2025, I shall be asking the Honorable Minister of Justice and Labour Relations the following questions. Honorable Speaker, I like to address a matter of great concern to the Namibian people and critically to the financial stability of our state-owned enterprises, particularly the National Petroleum Corporation of Namibia, NAMCOR. Despite a 1.2 billion government bailout in April 2024, NAMCOR continues to face severe liquidity challenges stemming from what the company itself describes as governance failures, poor operational decisions, and excessive borrowing, including issues like poor margin management, excessive and unprocedural credit facilities, stock theft, we remember the fuels that went missing, and unauthorized asset purchases. This ongoing situation raises serious questions about accountability and the effectiveness of our anti-corruption mechanism. Honorable Speaker, my questions are as follows. It is our understanding that over 100 number of corruption cases have been reported to and investigated by the Anti-Corruption Commission, ACC, and subsequently referred to the Prosecutor General Office, yet no action has been taken by the Prosecutor General. And it's not only NAMCOR, but all over. Given that the current administration is telling us that corruption is treason, with what I have mentioned, is the Prosecutor General aiding and promoting corruption, treason in your own words, as the ruling party, the current administrator. My second question is, how many corruption cases specifically related to NAMCOR have been investigated by the Anti-Corruption Commission and subsequently submitted to the Prosecutor General's Office for decision? 3, for these NAMCOR-related cases submitted to the Prosecutor General Office, we are told, for example, a staff at NAMCOR who is earning or was earning $7,000 owns millions of dollars assets, and the $7,000 salary per month definitely cannot help this person acquire all that. So for these NAMCOR-related cases submitted to the Prosecutor General Office, can the Minister provide an update on their current status? Specifically, how many have resulted in a decision to prosecute, and how many have been declined, and how many are still waiting for a decision? 4, given the public interest and NAMCOR's ongoing financial challenges, when can the Namibian people expect concrete decision and action from the Prosecutor General Office regarding the outstanding NAMCOR's corruption cases? 5th and last, there are public concerns regarding the timely and impartial resolution of these cases. What specific measures is the Ministry of Justice, in collaboration with the Anti-Corruption Commission and the Prosecutor General Office, implementing to ensure that all alleged corruption cases at NAMCOR and elsewhere are processed efficiently and fairly, ensuring that no individual, regardless of their position, is beyond the reach of justice? I thank you. The last one, this one is, I'm posting it as Shadow Minister of Home Affairs, Immigration and Safety and Security. Honorable Speaker, I hereby give notice that on the 10th of July 2025, I shall ask Honorable Minister of Home Affairs, Immigration, Safety and Security, Memorano Gipumbu, the following. Despite Namibia's push for fourth industrial revolution and electronic identification IDs, many natural Namibian citizens, including the elderly, face an egregious bureaucratic nightmares, forced to reprove their citizenship due to the Ministry of Home Affairs' systematic failures in recording keeping. This violates Article 4.1, sub-Article 1 of our Constitution and risks rendering thousands stateless. I therefore submit the following question to the Honourable Minister. 1. Why are Namibian citizens with valid national documents subjected to re-verification and treated as foreigners often demanded impossible documentation like deceased parents, records that the ministry itself lacks? 2. Why have manual birth registers not been fully digitalized and integrated into a centralized, secure national database, forcing citizens to physical travel for records and risking permanent data loss? What contingency plans exist for these aging physical records? 3. What is the specific legal basis for the Ordinary Residence Board, ORB, to adjudicate citizenship, and why are citizens denied essential documents, IDs, passports, and others while awaiting its often delayed decisions, forcing costly legal actions? Why does the ministry confiscate original Southwest Africa / Namibian birth certificates during inquiries and refuse their return? And what legal basis permits this practice? The ministry, in conclusion, is constitutionally mandated to safeguard citizens' documentations. We therefore demand immediate digitalization of all manual records, clear legal justification for ORB, and end to unnecessary citizenship re-verification, transparent procedures, and accountability for lost records. I thank you very much, and I wait for the minister's detailed response. Thank you.
Can the honourable member please table the questions? Okay. Now, Honourable Ampanda and Honourable Mvula have both indicated their questions are urgent oral questions. I see that Honourable April has also asked for the floor. Is your question oral also? Oh, okay. So then I recognize Honourable Ampanda.
Yeah, thank you, Speaker. I have an urgent oral question to Honourable Minister of Health. Firstly, Minister, yesterday we had something that's quite disturbing, and perhaps to get the gist of the consent, you are aware that the Regulatory Council made findings with regard to Farm. We've been here before, and there are specific findings, there are specific areas of failure of compliance, and those areas need to be complied with in order for us to know for sure that it's safe and sound. Products were recalled and specific orders were made in line with a specific legal framework. We now saw that Farm announced that they did an independent analysis or whatever it is that confirmed that part of their product is safe. Such things don't happen. We don't self-regulate. If the police finds you and they give a breathalyzer and they ask you to breathe in, you don't go and say, I'm going to pay for somebody, pay them, and it's independent, and claim that it's a very, very, very dangerous, because it's not just Farm. There are many other institutions that are doing what they are doing. Remember, Minister, I had cautioned you against some of these people when you meet with them, because we don't know now whether in your meeting with them, this was an agreement that they are going to go and find people there. They have a tendency of always implicating leaders when certain things like this that happen. So firstly, I want to ask, this so-called independent investigation or verification of their product, I hope it has nothing to do with what has been ordered. Because the law does not make provision to say that get out, go and identify people, shortlist, and then go and say, come and investigate me whether I'm clean or dirty. There's no legal provision for that. Can you confirm to us that whatever it is that Farm is doing and announcing has nothing to do with what Council is doing in terms of the regulatory framework? Because the dangerous thing is that every time anybody gets a bad finding, they are always going to run to some people and say, I've gotten a so-called independent. It can never be something independent if you have paid for it. That's the first one. The second one, Minister, yesterday, again, your predecessor in South Africa received a report from the panel. They had commissioned a report on racial discrimination against black health care providers. And they made interesting findings there. The reason why I'm importing this in our context, we know now, for example, all these medical schemes that we have, you have a scheme, but there is what is called administrators. Yeah? So the administrators would be MedHealth, it would be what, even the government one. They have people who are administering it. And most of these companies are actually South Africans. How do we know that those findings from South Africa, because these are the same people, it's not applicable? Are you going to make an effort to reach out to your colleague, Dr. Motsoaledi in South Africa, Minister of Health, to read this report and hear what is going on and see whether there's something that we can see that is also applicable to Namibia? Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you. Does the Honourable wish to respond?
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Thank you, Honourable. I wish to answer that question very briefly. The meeting that we had when I highlighted previously in my previous response that we met the Ministry of Health and Social Services, Namibia Medicine Regulatory Council, as well as Farm. In that meeting, they did raise that they did want to pursue the investigation. We do have the minutes of the meeting available that does state what the position of the Ministry of Health and Social Services were. I wish to highlight, because I believe in my previous answer it didn't quite come out, at that meeting it was not the Minister of Health and Farm, it was the Ministry of Health and Social Services, it was Farm, it was NMRC, as well as our legal representative and theirs. So I just want to highlight that. But in answering the first question, they did bring that out in the meeting that we had, and we did make our stance very clear to say that there was a conflict of interest there, and therefore we could not take that report as a standing report. If they feel that they still want to proceed, which has seems that that is the way they have taken. That is not what the Ministry of Health and Social Services bases it on, neither NMRC. Also, just to clarify that as things stand, we have taken the route that was communicated previously to say that until the things are rectified, they will not be allowed to proceed, and that is how things will stand. Then with regards to the second question, the counterpart, Honourable Minister of Health in South Africa, and I are in touch, and we did make contact at the World Health Assembly. The report you speak of, though, I'm not aware of, and what you may allow me please to do is to have a conversation with him and to perhaps come back to the House and bring back a formal report on that if it is relevant to the country and how we will bring it in. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Mpanda, does that address your concern? Okay. Okay, does it answer your questions? Okay.
Want me to just say this?
Okay, no, you can take the floor. You can take the floor. Are you? Okay, very good. Now, the next is Honorable April.
Thank you, Comrade Madam Speaker. I've actually taken the floor to pose my question directly to the Minister of Education with many middle names and surnames, but both of them are not in the House, so I stand to be guided. Should I proceed to ask the question even though?
Yeah, then that would be a notice of a question then.
Then in that case, let me just give them the notice. I don't want the shadow minister.
You don't deal with shadow.
Yeah.
Comrade Speaker, I don't deal with spiritual ministers.
Okay. Okay. So they are not here, Honorable. You won't be able to pose your question as an agent oral
So
question.
how does one do that? I don't know. Must I know?
You give a notice. Usually you fill that blue form and you read the question and you hand it in.
Okay, now let the assistant bring the form and then I can sit down and do that.
Okay, very good. Honorable Evora,
Speaker, there is no, he's saying let somebody bring, there is no form. You just, yes, there is no form at all. So you just take an empty blue paper like this and you type your question. There is no form.
Okay, but you must hand in your written questions on that blue paper. Yes. Okay. Now the floor is to Honorable Mvula.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. No, I have the red. Oh, you have the red? I think. Where was I jumped? Or skipped?
Oh, yeah, I see Honorable Kandurutu is now at the bottom. I don't know what the system did.
Please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is yours an oral question?
Yeah, oral. To the Minister of Health.
Oh.
Are you aware that in all your...
Is your mic on?
Yeah, it's red. Or is it green? In all the pharmacies around the country, there is no eye drops or eye gel. The answers that we are getting is that the wholesalers are not able.
I know the question is not clear.
I know.
By the way, can you give me the gist of the question, Honorable Member?
No, there's no eye drops in the country.
Okay, pose the question.
No, it's very serious. Yes, or eye gel.
Okay, go ahead.
The country have run out. If you are not sick, if you are not blind, if you don't have an eye problem, you can make fun of those that are sick, and maybe it will reach you one day when you are not going to see. So, but Honorable Minister, that's the concern nationally, that the whole country had run out of the eye drops or the eye gel. Are you aware about that? And what can be done?
Yes, thank you. Honorable Minister of Health, would you like to respond?
Speaker. Thank you, Honourable Member, for the question. I might be mistaken, but if it's the eye gene, I know it's used for dry eyes. Is that the one you're referring to?
It doesn't.
Honourable Speaker, because of the nature of the complaint, so to speak, the question that has been raised, what I would like to do is perhaps if the member can provide a bit more information as to where exactly this is the case, which hospital this is the case, and when this was brought to light. I'm not being petty at all. I'm really asking because it helps us be able to track, because sometimes a report comes that there's no Panado, but then the pharmacists say, no, but we do have Panado, and they come back and they say, which pharmacy or which hospital? So I'm not being petty. I'm really asking to say, if you can specify, perhaps that will give me a bit more of an indication so I can narrow down, because a lot of the time what happens is it's not that it's not in stock, but it's perhaps that we need to hone in on that pharmacist who didn't place the order. And so I want to particularly identify where the fault in the system is. So if you can help with that information, it will help me provide you a better answer. Thank you.
Very good. Honourable Member, just get more details and pass on to the Minister. Okay? Okay. Now, Honourable Mvula.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. It's actually, the one question was to the Minister of Works. Unfortunately, he's not here.
He's not here?
And it's really very unfortunate that he's not around. Maybe tomorrow he will be. One hopes so. The other question is really to the Right Honourable Prime Minister. The country has reportedly money or received money for this green hydrogen program. It's the most normal project. And the Vice, and I'm asking this because it results under the Office of the President, and the Right Honourable Prime Minister is taking care of government business in Parliament. Right? Now, there has been, this is the third time that a scholarship, actually opportunity for a scholarship has been announced by the Vice President. She did that in Gibeon a few days ago. But then there is a certain worry of the age of those that are benefiting from this intervention. The intervention is very good intended. It's to upscale skills of individuals and then make them potential employers or employees in that technical field, that TVET field. Now, the age bracket seems to be a little bit of a problem, which is only covers it's 18 to 35 years are those that are eligible to apply for this scholarship. Now, the concern is here that we have many Namibians that are above 35 years are unemployed, and they form part of the 54 unemployment rate that the country is faced with, actually as part of the 18% that have actually given up on looking for jobs. But many of those 35 plus or above 35 years of age do not get opportunities to get a loan from the banks because they don't have a qualification or evidence of a qualification. And then obviously, and these are basically people idling or littering our streets. One example, I don't know how many of those in Bangura cooperative wood covers that existed now for years have qualification in woodwork. All those that are in Rehoboth, what we call ambachtsmannen or referees, that have actually been building and etc. Have many of them are running businesses, but they don't have qualifications. Now, if they need a loan in order to upgrade their business, in order for them to employ more people, the bank would not necessarily accept that because of the lack of qualification or the absence thereof. Now, within NTA, that's Namibia Training Authority, there is what we call recognition of prior learning. I just quickly checked with NTA, and NTA doesn't, for that particular program, in order to certify somebody after an assessment or through after an assessment is done, provide the person with a certificate. NTA doesn't seem to benefit from the green hydrogen program fund, at least to upscale its intake or to increase its intake of that recognition of prior learning in order to certify those individuals, for these individuals to actually become formidable employers or employees. This is in the, now the question is in the context of employment creation in a more diversified manner. Has the Office of the President ever considered funding that recognition of prior learning program that results under NTA in order to certify Namibians or give Namibians qualifications that unfortunately due to financial constraints could not enter into any TVET center, institution or so. So I think the Honorable Prime Minister would agree with me that that would be a noble thing to do. But first of all, is there such an intent, or is there something like that already being rolled out? Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Does the Right Honorable Prime Minister wish to respond?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mvula. Just so that I'm clear and that I captured your question accurately, the Green Hydrogen Scholarships age group is 1835, and therefore your contention is that it cuts out those above 35. And then, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then that beyond 35 are those who are negatively affected in terms of accessing financing in the form of loans and so forth, and whether NTA would then be better suited or well placed to, if we capacitate NTA, then it will be able to assist those with that don't have qualifications, as you say. I think, as you indicated earlier, we cannot disagree on creating opportunities for those beyond 35 age group. But I hear what you're saying. What you're saying is a conversation that used to be there. I know Honorable Nahasangula was very particular about that as COSDEC was being created at the time. There was a conversation about schools without walls, and that is to recognize those who have amassed particular expertise, but they have not gotten a qualification that we today call a qualification. So I think, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Member, this is a very good conversation, which I think we can have. I think the rules then would dictate that the Honorable Member must put this in writing. Is that correct? Yes, so the Honorable Member then must put this in writing, let it come formally, and I think that is one that we can engage NTA on. It cannot be denied that there are many people out there who are even better qualified in many things of artistic nature, TVET nature, and so forth. But oftentimes they are denied opportunities because they do not have precisely what you have said. So I'm in agreement, and I think Her Excellency will also be in agreement that a solution be found. But to be able to do that, beginning tonight, please put those things in paper, and then we can together, like Honorable Kandorodu said, all both, or others will say Alice Mumwe. So let's get that done and see how we could assist that bracket. But of course, an appeal can also be made to financial institutions. Sometimes our financial institutions also, they have this tendency where they look at you and say, you are not fit to get this loan. Perhaps this is the future billionaire that you are turning away. So we would also appeal to the humanity of the financial institutions to look at those that have showcased capacity and ability to do something. The other day, Honorable Speaker, I know I'm abusing the opportunity, but there was the other day, Honorable Lieutenant Stana was standing up, and in this house, he was showcasing masterpiece of his talent. And he too, if he were to go to the financial institution, the appeal we are making is that people like Honorable Shitana must be supported so that there can be many Shitanas, including those who are doing Bangula wood carving. So I hope, Comrade Speaker and Honorable Gentleman Member there, you are in agreement that we are actually referring to those with such talents and that they must be supported. Thank you very much.
Very good, thank you. Now I recognize Honorable Venani.
To the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Industries, Mines and Energy. And the gist of the question is that I'm very alive, Madam Speaker, that the question of Namdia is a sub judice case under police investigation. But there is another element to it, not the diamonds that are stolen, but the security of the diamonds at Namdia after the heist. Master Minister, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister, there are a lot of allegations going around that there are security breaches currently at Namdia. I've not seen you in electronic or print media visiting Namdia to acquaint yourself. The first question is that, have you ever visited Namdia? Can you give assurance to this country that a new heist will not take place under the security conditions that are there? And the last question that I want to ask you from a very concerned vintage point, why has the government saw it fit to keep the current board of Namdia intact while there was a heist under their watch? And again, the same board is called to be having a number of lapses in terms of security. So what is really happening at Namdia? Why is the board protected? Have you ever been there as minister? How can you assure this country that diamonds there will not be stolen today? Because we are hearing so many stories around Namdia. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Does the Honorable Deputy Prime Minister wish to respond?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And let me thank Honorable Venani for the question. First of all, if I'm today, I'm a minister, and tomorrow I'm not a minister, and I go somewhere as a minister and I go somewhere as an individual, it doesn't change anything. It remains me, the human being. So as me, the human being, yes, I've been at Namdia. I visited Namdia. I was the chairperson of the Economic Committee of Parliament, and I know Namdia. I visited it. So it doesn't. So the question is, did I ever visit Namdia? Yes, I did. As a minister or not, it's still me. I'm still the same person. And the reason for visiting Namdia is to look at the security, to look at the diamonds, is to look at the operations and so forth. As we speak now today, Namdia is not operating from the same building. for the same reasons. It's for the same concern that the country is having, that is probably not safe. So we equally did not authorize Namdia to continue operating from there while looking at the security features. In regard to the board, there is no policy in our country that says who should commit a crime. And it will also, we are going to make a country ungovernable if you are having people, for example, committing crime, and you will change this, the police sector, for example, saying, no, these police are not working. Therefore, let's get rid of all of them, let's get new police. It's not going to work. Every time there is a crime, we need to change the police force. It doesn't work that way. I'm saying this, it doesn't work if a crime happens at any institution. It's not proper to change the leadership all the time. Now, must we change the board? I'm not saying we are not going to change, and I'm also not saying we must change on because something has happened. That cannot be merit. No. Yes. So things happen under the leader. Any member can do something. A minister have committed some crime here, was appointed by the president. Must we change the president? Must we go back to the election? It doesn't work that way. Yes. But I appreciate the question. Yes. And Honorable Speaker, Honorable Member, the reality of the question, to be honest, is not urgent at all. Yes, it's not urgent at all.
Yes, honorable members, just one moment. I will give Honorable Venani an opportunity to ask a follow-up question. He will be the only one to make a follow-up question because he's the one who posed the question, and we are also out of time of oral agent questions. So, Honorable Venani, you have the floor. We are
Honorable Minister.
Another one.
You are an individual, but you are a minister of this country, responsible for a particular function. If I was the president of the country and you are answering that aloof, I would let you go. I would fire you. You can be fired.
Is that a follow-up?
No, the follow-up is the following. No, the follow-up is the following. There is what is called a right of recusal in law. When there are allegations about a would-be conflict of interest, there is already people, two senior staffers, the former CEO and the chief operating officer have recused themselves. They are not found guilty, they are not charged with anything. They have recused themselves in order to make the investigations to be thorough, without any people involvement. Now the board is continuing with lapses of security breaches, and they have taken decisions, and you are saying they will not change anything. So I'm very worried as a citizen. You know, what you are saying is that the board doesn't need to go. The board needs to recuse itself.
Yeah, Honorable Venani, that one, your question was, can the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister give assurance to this House that there are measures taken to ensure that there is no repetition of what happened at Namdia? That follow-up question is a new aspect that is brought up truly.
He brought the new aspect.
No, it's not up to him to say that the presiding officer can actually rule a question out of order. So it is up to the presiding officer to allow. But that's the last one because I can see now that it's a debate now. Honorable Deputy Prime Minister, would you like to respond?
Yes.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, for me to answer generally, it's because I do not want to set presidency. That's the reason I said it doesn't mean if something happened, the leadership should go. I didn't say at Namdia. I said anyway. That's the reason I was even using the example of the police and just say crime in general. I'm not saying the board of Namdia should go or should not go, but I'm saying in general, in general as a country when we are leading, if something happens somewhere, you don't get rid of the board, you don't get rid of the leadership immediately. It doesn't work that way. Anyway in the world.
Honorable Ampanda, is that a new oral agent question? Yes, you have the floor now.
Yes. You are not chasing, you are recusing people.
I'm rising in terms of Rule 124B, building firstly on the announcement that we've made. That's the first basis, that tomorrow we will have the Prime Minister of India to address us, also knowing that on Thursday will be our last day. So I therefore move without notice that we cancel the break and we continue with the business of the day.
No, Honorable, we need the break. Thank you very much for the consideration, though. So can we rise for only 10 minutes and then come back? So what time is it now? It's 5 after 4. So we come at 4:15. Thank you. Promptly.
that on Thursday, 25 September 2025, I shall move a motion on the amendment of definition of veteran in the Veterans Act 2008, Act number 2 of 2008, that I rise to move that the August House debate and considered the amendment of the definition of the term veteran as contained in the Veteran Act 2008, Act 2 of 2008, with a view to ensuring that all former members of KUFUT and the Southwest Africa, just sell us, please. Sell us. Yeah, sell us, please. Give me time, please. Listen. I beg you. Yes, I beg you to listen. I don't disturb you when you are on the floor.
Yeah. Honorable Lucato, okay, I will hear you out. May you please just take your seat, and I want to hear what the Honorable Cooper is raising on.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Not long ago, Honorable Speaker, I raised on this floor to ask for advice on how to treat motions and motions like the very one of Honorable Lucato, because we dealt with the same issue through a report just a few months before we were sworn in. And those implementations must be done by the ministries. It is referred to the ministries, and the question must be, because even now I was looking at it. It came through a petition, and we dealt with that very same issue regarding the war veterans and all that thoroughly. So, Honorable Speaker, this House must, as of now, as soon as guide us to see how we will deal with matters that was already on the floor, that was dealt with, that had recommendations sent to the ministries for implementation. I so submit, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, okay, thank you very much. We will rule on that. Honorable Lucato would finish. Honorable Lucato would finish, and we will look that matter up. Okay, and yes. I will make a ruling on that when we have looked at it.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I just want to remind a member that you must not disturb me if you are on the floor. Yes, because I don't disturb you when you are on the floor. Yes.
Very good.
I respect you all, myself. Yeah, that is my traditional.
Okay, you may now proceed, Honorable.
Okay. I raise to move that the August House debate and consider the amendment of the definition of the term veteran as contained in the Veteran Act 2008, Act number 2 of 2008, which a new to ensuring that all former members of KUFUT and the Southwest Africa Territorial Forces, SWATIFI, are formally recognized as the veterans of the Republic of Namibia. You continue again. You continue. So, okay, thank you so much, thank you. That this Honorable House, number one, acknowledge the historical role played by all armed forces during the pre-independence era, including those who served in the KUFUT and SWATIF formation. Number two, notes that the current legal definition of veteran in Section 1 of the Veteran Act 2008 excludes individuals who served in this formation despite their military involvement during the same conflict period. Number 3, to recognize the legitimate grievances and social economic challenges faced by these former soldiers who, like others, have endured the physical and the psychological consequences of war. Number 4, affirms the principle of national reconciliation and inclusive nation building as assured in Article 95 of the Namibian Constitution. Number 5, resolves to initiate the process of amending the Veteran Act 2008 by broadening the definition of veteran to include any Namibian citizen who served in recognized military, paramilitary, or security formation during the pre-independence era, including those who were part of COFUD and Southwest Africa Territorial Force, and who has since been honorably discharged or demobilized, or point of correction, demobilized. Number 6, to direct the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Constitutional and Legal Affairs to consult with relevant stakeholders, including former combatants, civil society, the Minister of Defense and the Veteran Affairs, and the Office of the Ombudsman, to draft any appropriate amendment bill. Number 7, further resolves that this amendment must promote social cohesion, historical acknowledgement, and the equal treatment of all citizens who participated in the army conflict, regardless of their political alignment. Honorable Speaker, on the 25, I give notes on 25 September 2025 on the motion of establishment of Namibian Truth and Reconciliation Commission. I give notes that a notes motion for the establishment of Truth and the Reconciliation Commission in the Republic of Namibia, inspired by the South Africa model. The Commission should investigate and the public account for enforced disappearance, extrajudicial killings, and other human rights violations committed during the liberation struggle and the post-independence era. As many Namibians remain in the dark regardless of their missing loved ones, whether they are dead, awkward in the exile, or within our borders. Families deserve the truth. The Truth and the Reconciliation Commission will allow for national hearing process where perpetrators, including those in political or military authority, can disclose their actions, apologize where appropriate, and enable the nation to pursue justice and reconciliation. South Africa's Truth and Reconciliation Commission has established in 1995 successfully managed to confront a painful past without restoring to revenge. Namibia can adapt that model to fit our historical and cultural realities. This process is essential if we are to honor victims, restore dignity, and build last national unity for the Namibia. I therefore move that the House support and established of Namibian Truth and the Reconciliation Commission under appropriate enabling legislation. Honorable Speaker, members of Parliament, on the ensuring institutional independence of key oversight bodies. Honorable Speaker, members of Parliament, I rise to move that the August House debate and considers the implication surrounding the continued role of President Nangolo Mbumba as the Chancellor of University of Namibia. According to Section 6 of the University of Namibia, Act 1992, Act number 18 of 1992, the Chancellor shall serve a term of 6 years and is eligible for reappointment upon expiration of the term. President Nangolo Mbumba was officially appointed as the Chancellor of the University of Namibia by the University Council on the 20th February 2018, following a recommendation from the late President Hage Geingob. May his soul, my brother, continue to rest in eternal peace. Accordingly, may then his first 6-year term expired on the 28th February 2024. However, despite retiring from active politics and all government delegated function, it is observed that President Mbumba confirmed degrees, diplomas, certificates, and the various UNAM graduation ceremonies in 2025 in his capacity as a Chancellor. This House, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Members, must therefore consider, number one, whether a formal reappointment process was conducted in accordance with the University of Namibia Act. Number two, whether it is appropriate for retired head of state to continue in the role of a Chancellor without transparent public communication or parliamentary oversight. Number three, and whether institutional autonomy and the good governance principles are being upheld within the University of Namibia. I therefore move that this matter be referred to the Parliamentary Standing Committee on the Human Resources and the Community Development for inquiry, and that a report to be tabled before this House.
Can the honourable member please table the motion? Yeah, and yes, okay. He's now okay. Let him table and I give you the floor. Thank you. So now I recognize honourable members.
Honorable Speaker, yes. I rise to raise a point of privilege. The Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs reserves the onerous right not to respond to anything that opens up the wounds of people who suffered during the struggle for this independence from both sides. You can take You can take that motion. No, you can take that motion to Zerust, and it will be answered perfectly in Zerust. No, we are not here to. No, we are not here to entertain. I know, my brother, you are always agitating for these people of Kufut and all that. That is not going to be entertained. Not now, not ever. We are not going to entertain. Number two. Number two. No, wait. Number two. Number two. Number two. You will never know what it takes to be a veteran.
Okay, honorable member, you have made your point.
Never know what it takes to be a veteran.
Okay, honorable member.
That's a discussion beyond your capacity.
Okay.
Right? Number two, on the question of national reconciliation.
What is the second point? Is now on the second point. I want to hear the second point.
On the question of national reconciliation. On the question of national reconciliation, I stand to be guided.
I want to hear what the member is saying. I can't make a ruling if I don't hear what he's saying.
Wait. On the point of national reconciliation.
I want to hear what he has to. I can't rule because I don't know what he's saying. I won't be able to know whether you are in order or
I want to help you. I want to help you.
Yeah.
On the point of national reconciliation. On the point of national reconciliation, the question being asked.
Honorable member.
The question being asked on national reconciliation is not citing a single provision.
Honorable member, you have made your point. You have made your point. I want to make a ruling on that one. You have made your point. I just wanted to say, on the first motion of Honorable Rukato concerning a matter that we were advised by Honorable Cooper was dealt with by a parliamentary standing committee. We will make a ruling. I will be assisted by the front desk to establish what has happened, and then we will make a ruling on that one. So it means the motion is tabled, but it's not necessarily admitted to the agenda until that ruling is done. That's the first one. Now, with regards to concerns about what is raised in the motion, the honorable members would have the opportunity. Before the motion is motivated, an opportunity is given to members to object. So it is possible for a member who has an objection to actually object to a motion before it's even motivated. Yeah, so I just want to advise the members that we don't have to be concerned. Honorable members, the objection will come before the motivation is done. Not today. Yeah, not today. Yeah, not today. So, Honorable Ampanda, you have the floor.
Yeah, thank you very much, Speaker. Article 1, Sub-Article 2 of our Constitution states that all power shall vest in the people of Namibia who shall exercise their sovereignty through the democratic institutions of the state. The founders of our constitution wanted to be clear and ensure that no power in other individuals other than the people of Namibia, more so foreign institutions with ulterior motives. One such democratic institution that the constitution refers to is the National Assembly. In terms of Article 45 of the same constitution, members of parliament in the performance of their duties are guided by only three things. Firstly, the objective of the constitution. Secondly, public interest. And thirdly, their conscience. It was never envisaged that members of parliament in the performance of their duties will be guided by foreign directives and influences evidently outside Article 45 of the Namibian Constitution. The 7th Parliament passed 11 amendments and 2 new bills at a thunderous speed. The purpose of these laws was apparently to ensure that Namibia does not get grey-listed by a financial action task force to apparently strengthen measures against money laundering. This so-called FATF was created by foreign countries organized as G7 countries: Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, and the United Kingdom, and the United States. The then Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Professor Peter Kachavivi, publicly informed the nation that the bills and amendments were rushed and members were not afforded ample opportunity for comprehensive review and informed debate. He also continues to say, as a matter of record, that the deliberations were condensed and procedures were hastened. Honorable Abed Kawana, the former Minister of Justice and at one point Attorney General of the Republic of Namibia, also informed the public that these urgent bills are not in the interest of Namibia and are at a caprice of foreigners. He warned that these laws will come home to those passing them. While these laws were apparently rushed to avoid the so-called grey listing, what is scandalous is that Namibia was eventually grey listed anyway by this foreign-owned organization. The rushed bills and amendments did not therefore achieve the so-called stated objective. Following the footsteps of Speaker Kachavivi and Minister Kawana, this question is important. Would any foreign-inspired law arrived at hastily and flouting procedures, among other anomalies, be in the interest of the people of Namibia? Against this background, I hereby give notice that on Wednesday, 9 July 2025, I shall move that this Assembly conduct a careful review of all 13 rushed laws, assess their possible impacts in order to ensure that they serve the Namibian people and not foreign interest. That the motion be referred to the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Constitutional, Legal Affairs and Petition for careful review, analysis and report back. I so move, Honourable Speaker.
Just like this one.
Thank you. Honourable Mbula. Yes, okay. Now I give the floor to Honourable Jonas.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I hereby give notice that on Tuesday, 16 September 2025, I shall move that this House discuss the following: that this House deliberate on the conduit and increasing use of fixed short-term contracts for employment, particularly in instances where there are no strict limitation on the duration, renewal, or justification for such contracts as currently stipulated in the Labour Act. It has been increasingly evident that some of the multinational corporations and national companies are engaging in exploitative practices, retrenching permanent staff only to rehire them later under fixed-term short contracts, often through outsourcing arrangements. These practices undermine the government effort to promote decent jobs for all. Decent jobs are jobs that provide social security, fair wages, respect of labor rights, and ensure productive and sustainable employment. A significant number of Namibian workers, especially young workers and middle-aged individuals who form the backbone of our economy, are subjected to these unjust employment practices. This not only erodes their economic dignity, but also weaken the social fabric of our nation. Therefore, I urge this Honorable House to debate and discuss the matter with the aim of adopting a resolution to refer the issue to the relevant standing committee for a thorough investigation and the formulation of appropriate recommendation for implementation in the view to address decent work diversity. I so submit, Madam Speaker.
Okay, can the honourable member please table the motion? Ministerial statements? Any reports from the Committee of the Whole Assembly? Oh, okay, Honorable Ballot.
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Speaker, honorable members, allow me to rise and update this Honorable House on the petition of unemployed graduate teachers today, 8th of July. I hope I'm speaking up. I rise to address this August House on a matter of significant national concern and public interest, the issue of unemployed graduate teachers, and in particular the petition received by the Honorable Minister, Sanet Steenkamp, at 14:50 earlier this afternoon at our headquarters at the Government Office Park. Honorable members, the Ministry has been engaging extensively with the leadership of the unemployed graduate teachers. To date, we have met with the group on multiple occasions, most notably following the initial march on the 3rd of June, again on the 1st of July, and most recently on the 4th of July of this year. Today, a petition was officially submitted to the Ministry. According to the petition, 8,251 graduate teachers remain unemployed between 2017 and 2023, with the current figure alleged to exceed 15,000 as at today. I must at this juncture caution that these figures are not yet independently verified by the Ministry. The petition raised several critical concerns, including the financial burden of repeatedly applying for teaching posts, particularly the cost of printing documents, and alleged incidences of corruption and nepotism in the recruitment process. The demands outlined by the group are as follows. Number 1, abolishment of teacher recruitment interviews. Number 2, the implementation of mass recruitment measures. Number 3, creation of a national database of unemployed graduate teachers. Number 4, introduction of a compulsory year of accomplishment program for graduates. Number 5, enforcement of teacher-learner ratio standards. And number 6, temporary suspension of new education training programs. The petition also requested a response within 3 hours of submission. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, I can confirm that the Honorable Minister of Education, Innovation, Youth, Sport, Arts and Culture, Honorable Sanet Steenkamp, has received and acknowledged the petition. The Ministry has assured the petitioners that this matter is being treated with the urgency required. An official acknowledgement letter is currently being prepared, and a detailed response will be provided within 2 weeks from today, on or before 22nd of July, to be specific, which was communicated directly to the petitioners approximately 2 hours ago. Furthermore, this House and the nation may wish to note an Education Circular number 4 of 2025, dated the 12th of May, outlines a 3-year decongestion plan for all public schools. This policy includes several internal remedial measures, aimed at alleviating the staffing and classroom pressure in a phased and sustainable manner, and it is being prioritized. Honorable members, the issue of graduate unemployment, particularly among qualified teachers, remains a complex national challenge. Quality of education shall at no point be compromised, and we give the assurance of the highest regard that our ministry remains committed to working collaboratively, transparently, and responsibly to find both the short and the long-term solutions. I thank you.
Yes, thank you, Honorable Deputy Minister. Are there any questions on the statement? Very good. So there are no questions. Thank you, Honorable Deputy Minister. Any reports from the Committee of the Whole House Assembly and consequential proceedings? No. Then we go to orders of the day. The Secretary will read the first order of the day.
Consideration of report on the performance assessment and post-election for the 2024 Presidential and National Assembly elections.
Does the Honorable Deputy Speaker move that the Electoral Commission of Namibia's report be considered?
I so move, Honorable Speaker.
Who seconds? Any objections? Then it is agreed. The Honorable, yes, Honorable Kambala? Is that an objection?
Yes.
Oh.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. As per requirement that we had just last week, we had said that we requested that we need to find a much more better way to deal with the report, because we can't interrogate the report without the owners of the report being present. And Prof. Ampanda also made that same request last week, and the Speaker had given us assurance that we'll find a way for us to deal with it. So I was hoping perhaps by now the Speaker would have found a modality for us to deal with the report in such a way that we have at least to find a way on how to deal with the report, because now if you have questions, the Deputy Speaker can't answer them, you can't answer them. So
okay, Honorable Member, let me advise you on that one. I think probably the better way could have been to not raise an objection, because when you raise an objection, the House must be divided, and you are not to be allowed an opportunity to say anything. The only reason why I allowed you to do that is because you are new. Because I'm sure that you are not doing it deliberately. You actually didn't realize that you were acting out of the rules. But what usually happens is that when an item is tabled, it's motivated by the person that tables the item. The House can discuss and refer the item to another structure for further examination. That's one. Number two, the issue of getting these watchdog institutions to be available for us to interact with is not something that can be decided upon in one day, you know? So the only way now that is available to us as a National Assembly to engage with these watchdog institutions is through committees, because our rules do not allow for them to appear in the House. So these things are not being ignored. They are still being considered, and it's still possible after the Honorable Deputy Speaker has motivated the report and we have started that we can refer it to a committee, and then we can consider the issues more thoroughly there. So there is no contradiction between what I promised when Honorable Ampanda raised the issue and what is happening now. Yes. Okay. Can we now proceed with the Deputy Speaker, please? Or does Honorable Hengari also like to? Okay, the Deputy Speaker has the floor now.
Procedural aspects, I think the objection must then be withdrawn.
Yes, can the Honorable Member...
Procedural aspects.
Okay.
Objection is taken.
Yes, Honorable Kambara, can you please just withdraw the objection? Otherwise, I have to divide the House.
Now the House must be divided.
Okay, very good. good.
I withdraw, but yes.
Very good, thank you. So now, Honorable Deputy Speaker, may proceed, please.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker and Honorable members. Coincidentally, I'm giving the fireworks, but be with me that I'm the messenger. But notwithstanding that, when a job is to be done and it's dirty, it has got an owner. But when it's clean, then the owners are many. So this dirty one, I will take it. It's my responsibility you have given to me. And with that humility, Honorable Speaker, Honorable members, and a sense of gratitude, I stand here committed to our democratic principles and present to you regarding the important milestone of our electoral process. The Electoral Commission is required, in terms of Section 116 of the Electoral Act number 5 of 2014, to submit a report of any election conducted in the country, being the scheduled national, presidential and national assembly, regional or local authorities, elections or any by-election. I'm therefore pleased to inform you that the Commission has, in accordance and fulfillment of Section 116 of the Electoral Act, submitted the performance assessment and post-election report for the 2024 Presidential and National Assembly elections. The report outlines key electoral activities executed during the pre-election phase, the election phase, and the post-election phase of the 2024 electoral process. In terms of the relevant provisions of the Electoral Act, Section 116, after receiving the performance assessment and the post-election report, the Speaker must cause the National Assembly to consider the report. It is in that spirit and for that particular reason that I'm tabling, on behalf of the Speaker, this report before this August House, in accordance with the aforementioned provisions of the Electoral Act. I further also wish to further appraise the honorable members that the recordal in the section of Section 116, subclause 4 of the Electoral Act of 2004, which provides that the Speaker of the National Assembly must distribute such a report to the President, the Chief Justice, the Chairperson of the Electoral Court, the Chairperson of the Magistrate Commission, and the Chairperson of the Law Reform and Development Commission. The Electoral Act further outlines the specific content that must be included in the performance assessment and post-election report. I also want to highlight these key components as essential captured in the report as follows: constitutional and electoral matters, voter and civic education, stakeholder engagement and communication, systems and logistics, election administration, recruitment and training of election officials, election observations and the media, nomination of candidates and campaign process, voting process and the results, technology, security and risk management, summary of electoral court challenges, summary of achievement, recommendations for amendments, financial expenditure, other relevant matters. It is therefore prudent, and on behalf of the Speaker, that I present to you, honorable members and honorable members of the National Assembly, whose duty it is to ensure that the report is tabled before this August House and that it is carefully considered and deliberated upon. I therefore urge all of you, honorable members, to live up to that expectation. The greatest threat to freedom is the absence of criticism. This is our report. The institution did work on our behalf, criticize it with the sole intent to know that somebody who does nothing can do nothing wrong, but equally can do nothing right. You have to do something, and on the basis of that, you can only move forward. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, following our deliberations, we will ensure that the report is distributed to the following key stakeholders: Her Excellency the President, the Lordship, the Chief Justice, the Chairperson of the Electoral Court, the Chairperson of the Magistrate Commission, and the Chairperson of the Law Reform Development. Additionally, it is imperative that this report, it is also made public for public inspection to ensure transparency and accountability within our electoral system. As I conclude, Honorable Speaker, honorable members, I wish to emphasize that a performance assessment and post-election report serve as a critical tool for reflecting on our electoral processes. It helps us to identify areas of success and opportunities for improvement. The Commission has provided material details for every activity and aspect for review, reference, and kind consideration. Therefore, as we move forward, let us engage in a constructive deliberations on this report with the ultimate goal of strengthening our democracy and enhancing the integrity of our electoral processes. With this said and done, I thank the Electoral Commission for the efforts and the hard work in compiling this comprehensive report, and I look forward to our discussions in the interest of our nation. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Are there any further discussions? Honorable Ampanda.
Yeah, thank you, Speaker. Thank you, Deputy Speaker, for the presentation. If there's anything that I always found strange, is that abusive relationship that Namibians have with the Electoral Commission of Namibia. Go to judgment after judgment. There will always be a castigation of the ECN. Now, these are different commissioners that come from different times, but there will always be the same castigation of the commission. So there's definitely something wrong with the institution, because if a pastor comes, commits the same mistakes, then a taxi driver comes to the commission and commits the same mistake, then there is a fundamental problem. We cannot, as people of Namibia, continue to be abused by this institution over and over and over again. And this institution has also divided opinions, because we ought to be united, because you might enjoy when you see the balance of forces today, but tomorrow the same elements, the same animal will turn around and bite you. By the time it turns around to bite you, you will be alone. There wouldn't be anybody to. So even where you stand to benefit from the dysfunctionalities of ECN across the political divide, it's very important for us to understand the structural problems. On one hand, you have this report that is here, a person has prepared it and they are not presenting it. On the other hand, you now have this, the Electoral Act. In the 7th Parliament, they brought an urgent amendment that needed to be done quickly. It was passed. Wait for electoral reform, this so-called comprehensive electoral reform. So if we don't reset as a people, as this Parliament, we are going to have a serious problem. It's always nice when you are not on the receiving end, but one day it's going to become very problem. That's the first thing, Speaker. Now, in terms of how we proceed, we need to. Oh, Honorable Dirkhat is here. How are you, Honorable Dirkhat?
You are not around.
The former. Okay. Okay. So the former member of Parliament, Speaker.
Yes.
The Minister of Finance wants to know.
Okay, you have already answered her.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So we need. Yes, we can take this approach of saying let it go to the committee and the Committee of Constitutional and Legal Affairs, because ECN is stated as a body that falls under that jurisdiction. But I'm actually just wondering, you as members of Parliament, do you really think 24 people out of 106 must discuss issues of ECN and make recommendations? Because remember, the process here of Parliament can also be very oppressive. You are only going to deal with the context of the report that is before you and what is submitted by the committee. And in fact, when you come to that committee and somebody is subpoenaed, if you are not a member, in terms of these same rules, there are certain limitations that you have. But I'm raising this issue because I'm a member of a committee. I would have just said that no, I'll deal with those ECN people at that committee. But I'm not sure whether all of us appreciate the dilemma that we are going to deal with. Because we will do our work and we'll present whatever it is, and that's it. When we are considering bills, we always have these all-house committees and the Deputy Speaker will report progress. Yeah? Is it really against the rules for us to consider, Speaker, a provision of all-house committee? Or we only have all-house committee for the purpose of a bill. For us to really do a thorough job and reduce ourselves to an all-house committee that sits in C1, and we really deal like what we were dealing with the induction program. And we engage these ECN people. Because I'm not a SWAPO member, but the problems that even SWAPO members, the ECN failures, because some people are not strategic, you just defend ECN. But ECN failures cannot be SWAPO failures, unless there are some discussion elsewhere. So we ought to be united as far as this thing is concerned, so that we can grill this ECN, have a united front, reform our electoral process so that there's integrity in our electoral process and our democratic system. So, Speaker, we really need your indulgence. We could decide to say it must go to constitutional. I actually think we need to consider an alternative. I'm not clear what alternative it is, but I really believe that we need to consider an alternative and deal with this report. This is a report that brought all of us here. Yeah? If there are many people, some votes of yours that are there, maybe you're supposed to have 55, you're supposed to have 20 or 10 or 5 or 6, whatever these people are the ones that are responsible for these things. And we don't know what they do. These are 5 people. In other countries, commissioners are 20 or 30. There are even pastors there. Here, there are just 5 people. Yeah? There are only 5. Cost of what? So I'm raising these things, Speaker, so that we can actually understand that there's a bigger problem than just thinking that parliamentary bureaucracy is going to help us with this problem that we are also having. We have a motion on the table about harmonization of this election. These incompetent people that are putting us into problems, they cost us 500 million after every election. Presidential election, 600 million. This election in November, another 500 million. We're also saying that, no, why don't we have a harmonized election? So I'm trying to paint this picture, Speaker, as my 20 seconds are going, for us to understand that this cannot be treated just like any other, what is this, NHE report that can be referred to a committee and they say, we have looked at the report and everything is fine. This is a serious matter. Menanjira, over to you.
Yes, Honorable Panda, thank you very much. You see, I know that this is a serious issue, and I know that this is an issue on which people have very strong opinions. I would welcome proposals from members who have proposals on what can be done within the rules that we have. Beyond that, we can only change the rules if we find that the rules don't allow us to do what we would want to do, because it is not possible for us to act outside of the rules. But also what is important to mention is this, that one, interested members of parliament who are not members of standing committees can actually be co-opted. Yeah, so MPs can indicate if they are interested to be co-opted to committees that deal with issues that are of interest to them, and they will be co-opted, as you have indicated, where there is a vote to be taken. They will not have a right to vote, but they will have a right to participate. You see, because at the end of the day, the decisions in this House are for the most part taken on the basis of consensus, although we do vote sometimes. We have bills that are brought here by the majority party that are amended on the basis of proposals of opposition MPs, because those MPs have made arguments, convincing arguments to the other MPs that there is a need to change. So let us continue to have confidence in that system to ensure that if we have arguments and we bring them on the basis of national interest, we will be able to get through each other's and sell our ideas to each other's and act together in promotion and protection of our national interests. That is really all that I have to say. So unless if somebody comes with a proposal, the rules currently are saying that we can co-opt people to committees, committees can subpoena people, they can compile their reports are brought here and they are discussed. We are not compelled to agree with the committee's reports, even if we have problems. We can discuss them and we can decide not to agree. Secondly, we still have the options of motions, we still have the option of private bills. We have a range of other options if we feel that there is something that needs to be changed. So on that point, that's what I have to say, really. Then Honorable Venani.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, I rise to make a few observations on this report. First and foremost, by reminding members of this House that our own preamble of our Constitution says the following, that whereas we, the people of Namibia, lastly committed to this principle, have resolved to constitute the Republic of Namibia as a sovereign, secular, democratic and unitary state securing to all our citizens justice, liberty, equality and fraternity, quote unquote. Tomorrow, a leader of the largest democracy, global largest democracy in the world, Narendra Modi, is going to address us here. Our country is once again being put on a map. But what happens in the largest democracy of the world, that does not happen in this country called ours, Namibia. Fundamentally, all political actors, and I've remained consistent on this one, that in a democracy, there are winners and there are losers. And losers must accept their fate as losers, and winners must accept their fate as winners. But the process of winning and the process of losing must be above board. The last election that we had in this country was a farce of an election. It was a farce of an election engineered and instituted by those that had a hand in it to get the results that they wanted. This is what happened. That should never be acceptable to winners. That ought to be non-acceptable to us that have consistently lost in elections. Because elections have taken countries to wars. It has taken nations to wars. It has destabilized societies across the world. One thing that we should never accept is the fact that the company that was hired to print the ballot was a company itself tainted in corruption. Point number one. A procedure of giving a tender to that company was flawed until the last minute when the ECN came and ran to stakeholders and told us, no, we were supposed to go to a tender process, we are late, now we are picking a company. The company, God forbid that is picked, is a corrupt company. Secondly, the stuffing of votes, the suppression of voters. Ghana, with a population of 17 million, could vote in a single day. Namibia, with a population of less than 1.4 million people, we voted more than 4 days. And we counted more than 5 days. We lost because wherever the opposition was strong, there were people that did not have voter ballots. Yes. Angula, former Prime Minister and the voice of reason in this country, like him or not. Naz Angula, former leader of SWAPO, a former Prime Minister, says the following, and I quote him, that whatever happened in this election has eroded the credibility of SWAPO. That's what he said. What time is this? 10 minutes. 5 minutes. Yeah. 10 minutes. 10 minutes. What is the time? I want to say the following in conclusion. Yes. Can we be
being serious about elections.
Can you just keep quiet? It's not your time. No, keep quiet. No.
ECN,
you think we are stupid?
let me be on record. ECN is the most incompetent, corrupt institution that this country has. They need to be subpoenaed. They need to be subpoenaed by a parliamentary standing committee so that they come and account to the rubbish that they are doing running a fast election in this country. And are so confused.
I recognize Honorable Aupindi.
Justice.
Thank you, Speaker. I just want to underline that we are entitled to our own opinion. That's our right, but not our own facts, because facts are facts. Secondly, I do sympathize, I think, with the Honorable as he emotionally charged whatever he's charged. But he is a member of this House. He is a member of this House, which technically means that he has enjoyed the benefit of that election. Yes. And that is a fact. And so, no, I'm being factual. I'm being factual, Honorable. You know me, I'm always factual. No, you are a member of Parliament. And you are enjoying being here because of the election, of that decision, that process, which you are criticizing. It's true, I do agree with you that, I do agree with you on the fact that no one is saying there was no challenges in the 2024 election. I'm being honest with you, the challenges are there. And the report, in fact, if you read that report on 125, they outline their challenges. Whether now you agree with them or not, but the fact of the matter is that, yes, there were challenges, but true, there was also winners and there were also losers. And the fact of the matter is that you scored whatever you scored in the election, and that's what constituted the National Assembly. Yeah. And I would actually want to implore upon the honorable members for us to do something about those challenges that were pointed out. And that's where I agree with the honorable Professor Mpanda, that there were challenges, and and in particular the issue of ballots running out at stations. And that caused a lot of delays in lines. I stood in the queue for myself for like 5 hours. Yeah, and I believe every Namibian stood in that queue. But the fact that there were challenges did not necessarily say that there were some material issues that would justify a nullification of any sort. I'm only dealing with facts, you know? You can disagree with me on this point. And what we are going to do, Honorable Speaker, is to, I think, interrogate this report as we are given that opportunity, and be able now, if it goes to, if it's referred to a standing committee, so that we can use the instruments that are given to us, empowered by the rules and procedures and the Constitution, to, if we necessarily need to do that, subpoena the electoral commissioners, so that in future elections, those challenges are eliminated. For example, if you go back before, there were issues where people could only either do a tendered ballot or vote in their registered constituencies. And that kind of like provided some kind of predictability in terms of how many people are likely to show up at particular polling station. And if we have to do that in order to improve effectiveness, then let's by all means do that. We have the House of Lawmaking. And in so doing, improve, I think, the electoral process in Namibia. But Namibia is a model democracy. Let's not lie to ourselves. It is a model democracy. That you cannot take it from me. It is a model, one of the best democratic society in the world. Yeah. Other countries are even just fighting to argue the way you are arguing. Other countries, we have right to self-determination, and that no one can take away from us. Thank you very much, honorable members. Yes.
recognize Honorable Kandorodu.
The election was fair. No? Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker.
Ruthless aggression.
ECN is a very important institution to keep our democracy alive. But most of the time, they always act as if it's a new institution in the industry of election. Yes. For the past 35 years, ECN is keep on learning, making mistakes and failing to learn from their mistakes. That's what ECN does on daily basis. Or look, a simple thing. I read the challenges. Let me give you an example of the procurement process of ballot papers. Why should you arrive at the emergency level while you had the whole 5 years? Planning, advertise, invite the bidders to come, appoint all necessary instruments to assess a legit company to do it. Now, after the meeting between the SWAPO SG and the SANU PF representative, that's when that's when the company was appointed. It is a clear collusion. It's an indication that it was an organized syndicate election, and ECN must not behave like that.
You don't mean that? No, that's out of order, Honorable.
We look at the issue of polling stations. Why should we have limited polling stations? Citizens must not be denied access to democracy. We must have as much as possible many polling stations in this country. People must not travel more than 1 kilometer or 3 kilometers to go and vote. Why should we have long queues? Why? We can afford these things. So ECN need to be invited even to the whole house committee so that we can engage them and sapuna them. We can educate them, we will teach them. We know how to organize events, we know how to organize activities such as elections. And then, as much as we want to provide employment, you are recruiting people that cannot even start generators.
Yes.
So the ECN system need to be polished.
Half a minute, Honorable Member.
1 minute.
Round up.
Yeah, let me round up. Let me round
They
up.
will not want, because you are telling the truth.
So it's like when we were running election. Listen.
Honorable members, can the Honorable Member please conclude?
Yes, I'm trying to conclude. Bring in civil servants that are experienced to organize event. Give them strategic position like returning officer, those senior positions, people that can take a decision, so that you have a person to manage the system and not to run out of ballot paper and unable to move them from one polling station to another. So it's high time that we sit with these people and then we tell them to prepare them for future election. I thank you.
Thank you. The Right Honorable Prime Minister. Right Honorable Prime Minister, you have the floor. Okay, Right Honorable Prime Minister.
Thank you very much, Comrade Speaker, honorable members. The first democratic elections in Namibia was from 8th to the 11th of November 1989. So that is how long that election took. And yes, that was the first democratic elections. Now, the body that was running it, there were legitimate concerns. That is why I want to quote you. Could you repeat what you said in terms of criticism? Just rewind. What did you say? No, Comrade Speaker, so that the context is there. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Let him not. But here's the context. He said, where there is room to criticize, we can criticize. That's what he said. And we agree, isn't it? Now, the point is, the elections that has just passed, which is November last year, I do not think that there is anybody here that is a spokesperson for that. Because all of us were victims of it in terms of how long we stood. How long we stood in those queues. How long we stood in those queues. Yes. How long we stood in those queues. And we have made that point clear that that was wrong and ECN should do better. Yes. Now, in respect of what we are speaking here, now
what about the time?
Now,
yeah, no, I have.
Okay, I'm rounding up. I'm finishing. You see, the point I'm trying to make here is that the perception being created, Honorable Speaker, to try and make it look as if this side of the house is PR for that one. And I'll say, and I'll mention that why, and I'll elucidate on that. You see, my brother here is saying there was a meeting with a certain country and us. Now, that is not fact. It's not empirical. It's not empirical. And it can also be argued. It can also be argued from this end. It can also be, Honorable Speaker. We can also argue. We can also argue.
Yes, there is a point.
We can also argue.
Honorable,
we can also argue that there were those that were planted in ECN.
There is a point of order.
Yes, there were those. Yes, there must be people here. Yeah.
Mnamali, facts, not fiction. The Zimbabwean Electoral Commission was, look at this one, she's always giving the game away.
She's already. Make your point of order.
Point of order. The Zimbabwean Electoral Commission.
Honorable members, of order is made in order to draw the attention of the House to a violation, like a deviation from the rules. You cannot just wait.
Or an untruth.
No. You cannot make a point of order to argue.
You can make a point of order to correct a statement.
No.
You are a member of this House standing on point of order all your life.
You make a point of order when you need to disagree with what the other person has said.
Yes.
You ask for an opportunity. No. You ask for an opportunity to be given an opportunity to speak. I think Honorable Venani sees that he has already contributed, and he wants to come back a second time through point of order.
I want to correct him. Why this speaker is protecting you? I yield.
Where is point of order?
Honorable Speaker. Or is it automatic?
Yeah.
Adjournment, yeah.
Yes. No, it's not automatic adjournment.
Just very short. Very short, and on a lighter note, I think we are all agreed ECN could and can do better. But what we were trying to correct here is the perception, wrongly so, to try and paint this site as if it is being a spokesperson for ECN. That would be wrong. Secondly, everybody is a victim in that process. So therefore, what the Honorable Deputy Speaker has said, I think it is in the best interest of all of us. Let's bring these very ones who were running the elections, let's engage them, let's talk to them with a view of correcting our electoral process so that future generation will have a much better ECN to speak of instead of what we have experienced. So, Honorable Speaker, there is no disagreement. But there was no what the Honorable brother has been trying. Comrade Speaker, I think Honorable, my respectful brother here, I think he should withdraw what he has alleged.
Yes, thank you. Yes, Honorable Lucato.
Members of Parliament, I just want also to contribute just for a few minutes regarding this important issue. Yeah, myself, I participated on the electoral amendments bills. So currently now, since the ECN was established, it has been amended, Electoral Act has been amended more than 10 times, for your information. Yes. Then, last year, ECN conducted again the workshop to amend the Electoral Act. So that document now, it's with the Minister of the Line Ministry, that's the Minister of Urban and Rural Development. Then before elections last year, we as the stakeholders, we have agreed in principles that we must not repeat what Electoral Act of 2014 has happened, because it was imposed. Then that draft, it's now with the Ministry of Urban and Rural Development's office. It will not come here. It will be going back to ECN again for further consultations, because it was observed that those many resolutions does not benefit those who were supposed to be benefit. It benefited some of them.
Yes, point of order, Honorable Member.
So now I submit okay.
Honorable Member, are you done?
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done. Yes.
He's done now, there is no one. Okay, Honorable Member, on what point? Because the honorable member is no longer on the floor. Okay. Okay, point of privilege. Okay, yes. Yes.
Speaker, can I get my thing, please? My mic. Okay, thank you. The wrong one is on. Speaker, it cannot be right.
You can talk from this.
It cannot be right that parties that got surplus votes, beneficiaries of surplus votes, that came from this side to hand one seat that side, should lecture us.
Okay,
that is not correct.
Okay.
It is not something. Even Bishop, just wait, Bishop. You are part of that beneficiary list. Bishop, just wait. Let me just correct you.
Honorable member.
Speaker, you see.
All of you must now take your seat.
Speaker.
Honorable member, you are out of order.
Okay, am I out of order?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I will get back into order.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Honorable, there is no one on the floor now. Honorable Ampanda. So now I want to give the floor to the next person.
Prof. Okay.
Honorable Nashinge.
No. Speaker. No. Speaker, time is up. The house is adjourned by Prof.
No. Honorable members, can we allow Honorable Nashinge to take the floor? Yes. What point are you raising, Honorable Koga?
Yes.
So we must look at those things.
No, Honorable Lukato is no longer on the floor.
No, but his time was interrupted, Honorable Speaker.
No, he said he's done.
Oh.
Yeah, so please. No, he said. No. Please take your seat, Honorable Thomas.
Honorable Speaker.
Yes, please.
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. I truly want us to be more serious. I think this discussion is more serious, and we are embarrassing those that have delegated us to come and represent them here. All of us. So I just wanted to. You are looking here, but the noise is coming from that
just
side.
go ahead.
Can I just finish, please? So the way even the report is brought here, unfortunately, is procedural, but with a lot of question marks.
Honorable member, you may proceed, please. Honorable member, you may proceed, please.
To be honest, this report is actually colleagues blowing their own horns. It does not speak about the electoral fraud that we witnessed last year. It does not speak.
Honorable member, is it a point of order?
There's nothing about.
Okay, point of order. Point of order.
Hey,
Point of order.
Abraham, sit down.
Yeah, on what point, honorable member, are you rising?
Let's wait. Let us wait.
In July, sit down.
What do you want to run home? Let us wait. Yeah, you were crying, man. You were crying after your electoral college.
Can the honorable member?
I'll produce the video now.
Honorable April. Can you put on the mic of Honorable April, rising on a point of order?
April, we're in July.
Thank you, Comrade Speaker. Thank you. Comrade Speaker, I have a problem. And this is right from the onset, the point of correction I have. A report was tabled. We did not even get into the report, and allegations that are malicious of nature is being thrown around. So therefore, I want to submit to you, Comrade Speaker, so that this whole conversation or deliberations be adjourned until next day.
No, honorable member. Honorable member, can you please take your seat? Sit down. Now, honorable members, in terms of rule 91, where is the point of order? Point of order. Yeah. A point of order may be raised when any of these rules is alleged to have been infringed. As soon as irregularity occurs, to give an explanation in terms of standing rule and to seek clarification. And there is also, I'm looking for that provision that says that a person may not attack another person. A member of parliament may not attack another person who is not in a position to defend themselves. They may also not launch an attack against another person, without providing, accuse another person without providing information to back up the allegations they are making. Honorable members, this report, you have the right to refer to a committee and require the Election Commission to appear before the committee to answer. But for us to just sit in the House and start to call the commission all kinds of names, I think that's outside of the rules. That's not appropriate. And on that note, Honorable, it's now 5:50. No, we will rise on automatic adjournment, and then the next day we can continue. It will be on the order paper. Okay, you can postpone. Honorable member, you can postpone, although it's automatic adjournment. Yeah. No, honorable members, we cannot continue to discuss. It's past time. No, he will. No, he was on the floor. Honorable Nashinge. It's Honorable Nashinge who was on the floor.
Honorable Speaker, I suggest that we postpone the conversation and the discussion to Thursday this week.
Okay, thank you. On that, any objection, the House will now rise. It is now 5:50. Honorable member, then we can continue tomorrow.
These governors are unruly. But there is no rule that says you can't attack the ECN.
Yeah, says who? Why are we in pain?
Well, that story is actually, I don't
Why are we in pain that we discussing ECN?
So any commissioner, any person in this country who will mention their name, any corrupt person who will mention their name.
They must get fired, all of them.
They will not.